equal fractions, sometimes called equivalent fractions. This section is about fractions which look different but which mean the same thing. You may want to look at the introduction to fractions in another video if you're not sure what the top and bottom numbers mean. We'll start to look at equal fractions by looking at a circle divided in half. The circle could be a cake, with the shaded part being half of the cake. If you divide the cake into 4 equal pieces, you'll see that half the cake, one piece chosen from 2 equal pieces, is the same amount of cake as 2 quarters, 2 pieces chosen from 4. Similarly, 4/8 of the cake, 4 pieces chosen from 8, is still the same amount of cake. So half, 2/4, and 4/8 all show the same amount. The number at the bottom of each fraction is twice the number at the top in each case. Here's another example with 3/4 of a chocolate bar. Here we're choosing 3 out of a possible 4 pieces. If the bar is divided differently into 8 smaller pieces, you can see that 6/8 of the bar, that's 6 pieces chosen from 8, is still the same amount of chocolate as 3/4. We can write this as 3/4 equals 6/8. You'll see that the top number and the bottom number of the fraction each become twice what they were before. The top is multiplied by 2 and the bottom is multiplied by 2. It's a general rule that if you multiply the top and bottom of a fraction by the same number, the result will always show the same proportion. Here are a couple more examples. Firstly, take a third. If you multiply top and bottom by 2, you get 2/6, which is exactly the same as a third. So the top and the bottom have both been multiplied by 2. In diagram form, you can see that 1/3 is the same as 2/6. Another example is 2/5. If you multiply top and bottom of this fraction by 3, you get 6/15. As a diagram, you can think of it as 2/5, 2/5, and 6/15, 6/15. 2/5 is also equal to 40/100, multiplying top and bottom by 20. In fact, there's no limit to the number of equal fractions you can make in this way. 2/3 is the same as 4/6, multiplying top and bottom by 2, and as 6/9, multiplying top and bottom by 3, or as 8/12, top and bottom multiplied by 4, and so on. Here's another example. 1/5 is equal to 2/10, multiplying a fifth by 2, or 20/100, multiplying a fifth by 20. Exactly the same logic can be used for cancelling fractions, sometimes called simplifying. To simplify fractions in this way makes them much easier to deal with. In this case, you divide top and bottom of a fraction by the same number until you can go no further. For example, the fraction 3/12 can be simplified to 1/4 just by dividing top and bottom by 3. Here's the same thing shown with a diagram. As a last example, with 6/10, you can divide top and bottom by 2 to give 3/5. Cancelling is nearly always a good idea to make numbers easier to handle, but there are some fractions which cannot be simplified by cancelling. Have a look at 3/4. There is no number which will divide into the top and the bottom, so the fraction is already as simplified as it can be. Other examples of fractions which cannot be cancelled are 5/8, 3/5, and 7/9. In each case, no number can be divided into the top and bottom of the same fraction. If you've already met prime numbers, you'll see that this is because one of the numbers in a particular fraction is a prime. In the examples given above, the relevant prime numbers are 3, 5 and 7. You can look at prime numbers separately if you want to find out more about this. A prime number can only be divided exactly by itself and 1, leaving no remainder. Incidentally, you may come across the following words for the numbers at the top and bottom of a fraction. The top number is sometimes called the numerator, the number of pieces we're talking about, and the bottom is sometimes called the denominator, the size or denomination of the pieces. Thus, numerator divided by denominator. So in 2/3, 2 is the numerator and 3 is the denominator.